Hi, I'm Todd Ellison. I'm a solutions architect with Nile. I've spent about the last 30 years consulting with enterprise organizations on how to solve their networking needs. One of the things that we're hearing a lot lately is, you know what, we're a healthcare organization, we're a manufacturing organization, we're not an IT infrastructure organization. So we're moving everything to the cloud. All of our server infrastructure is going to live in an infrastructure as a service provider. It turns out that's a little bit more difficult to do with certain foundational services. One of those services is DHCP. DHCP is really a network function that gives out IP addresses to devices on the network just so that they can get connectivity. And so as everything else gets moved to the cloud, these foundational services end up sort of languishing on site, maybe on an old Windows or Linux server, maybe even one per location, maybe in a centralized location, but they're extra burden on the server team, on the networking team, and something additional that you have to secure as an organization. So that's why Nile has introduced our DHCP as a service. We're using our foundational principles of simplicity, security, and always-on availability to deliver DHCP as a service to our customers. I'll show you really quickly how that works. So what you're seeing here is the Nile portal. This is where you set up everything related to Nile and monitor everything related to Nile. We go over here to settings and we go to DHCP. We'll see some existing DHCP servers that are existing on-premise DHCP servers and the scopes that those DHCP servers can contact. But you'll also see the Nile DHCP server here. This is our DHCP as a service, and it's available to any Nile location at all times. And it's really very simple to set up. You just click on Nile DHCP here, and you'll see all of the DHCP scopes that have been created. You can see here a BYOD scope, but I don't see an IoT scope. Let's just go ahead and create an IoT scope. So we'll click on subnets here. We'll call this HQ1 IoT, and we will use 172.16.210.0/24 for that. As you can see, we've already created a default gateway automatically. I could change that to something else if I wanted to. We've got a lease time automatically set up, and we've already set up the IP range, which we can also manipulate as needed. So what this does is by creating this DHCP scope here and hitting this default gate, putting the default gateway right here, now Nile knows that as soon as this network is assigned to a location, Nile is automatically going to have this default gateway IP assigned. There's no need to create a VLAN, VLAN IP addresses, SVIs, any of those things. So let's just go ahead and save this. So once that's saved successfully, we go over to segments, and let's create a new IoT segment. We'll just call this IoT. We'll go over to service areas, and we'll put this at HQ1. Click OK. This is going to ask how we want to authenticate devices for this segment. We'll choose this authentication server. And then here we'll choose the Nile DHCP server for DHCP. And we will build the IoT network here. So once I click save here, a couple of things are going to happen. First of all, that network is going to be available for all wired devices at that site automatically using those IP addresses with no need for a server to be set up. Also, no other device is allowed to hand out IP addresses for this network. So that means there's no possibility of having a rogue DHCP server on this network. We're not even going to send those broadcasts out to that local network. So that means there's no way for someone to snoop the DHCP request. We've eliminated all of those from a security perspective. Once I click save, now that network is available at that location. So I hope this helps you understand how Nile's DHCP as a service eliminates security concerns, reduces complexity, and frees your IT staff to focus on things that provide business value. The great thing is this is available on all Nile networks today. So please just reach out to your Nile team and we'll get you started.